All right, what's up, you guys? So my name is Mario, and I'm here with my buddy Tomas Nedoma from Czech Republic, and today we are going to talk ClickFunnels and business. So Tomas, why don't you share with us a little bit about yourself? What is ClickFunnels for people that don't know it yet, and how did you heard about them for the first time?
Hello, Mario. Thank you for having me. So everybody who doesn't know me, I'm Tomas Nedoma. I'm from Brno, Czech Republic. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here and to answer Mario's question. What is ClickFunnels? Well, it's a sort of revolutionary platform where you basically transform your online presence into something that is more customer focused. I feel like sales funnel has been in business as long as business exists, but when ClickFunnels was actually created, I feel like it was true revolution in business, because finally the business owner finally got the chance to communicate with their clients in more clear way, in more delegated way. So it is as real life like possible. So imagine bringing a customer in your store or car dealership, or if you're hairdresser in your salon, and you're taking him through the experience. You welcome him, you tell him what you're doing, you ask him questions about what services he requires, what products he requires. And this is something that ClickFunnels brings into the online world, because it is very challenging sometimes to feel like in real life when we are online. And I believe that ClickFunnels makes it so much easier for us business owners to connect with our customers and really help them fix the problems that they have.
Totally. And how did you learn about them for the first time?
Well, when I was living in London, I used to live in London from 2011 to 2016. And there was a period of time when I realized that I need to start self-educating, that there will be no opportunities just handed out to me. So I started to kind of watch some influencers online. And one of those influencers was Cardone. He's a great American celebrity, real estate investor. He is a sales coach. He is just an amazing guy. And he was having this conference called 10X Growth Con. I think it was 2019 or maybe 2018. I'm not sure. And that must have been earlier, because I was in London. Well, anyways, it was some sort of conference, and he introduced Russell Brunson. And I was just thinking, why is he introducing this guy? And then I realized that basically all of Grant Cardone's sales storefronts, if it's merchandise, if it was his books, it was built in ClickFunnels, and it looked so seamless. And this was the first time that I encountered ClickFunnels without actually realizing the potential. However, the first time that I started to use it was about 2 or 3 years ago, when I moved back to Czech Republic and I started doing business with my mother, and I was just experimenting with it. I did not really know the true in and outs of it, but yeah, this is probably the first time when I actually got the kind of hands-on experience. And how about you, Mario? What was your first time, or how did you learn about the ClickFunnels?
Oh, well, it was a couple of years ago, and I had this guy, Sebastian from Costa Rica. He basically paid for my book, Expert Secrets, which is the second book in the Russell Brunson trilogy. Russell Brunson is the co-founder of ClickFunnels. And he basically paid for my book, and I didn't understand it. Like I ordered the book, and he sent me $20, like just because I ordered it through his link, and I didn't understand this marketing concept. And I've only come to realize later, when I actually started using ClickFunnels, that every time when Russell Brunson is launching new books, he pays his affiliates like for let's say 5 days or something like that. $20 for each sale they make for his book. So
Okay.
that was cool. But I didn't start to use it immediately because I was using WordPress back then, and I started doing business like over five years ago, and I was using WordPress, and it was cheap, and I was feeling like it was ClickFunnels may seem like expensive option in comparison because WordPress you pay like for hosting a couple bucks, and ClickFunnels may seem expensive, like the entry package is 97 per month, but so I hesitated for a couple months, but then when I jumped on it, when I jumped and joined the ClickFunnels, then everything changed for me because it's not as much as a cost like what you pay for WordPress, but it's simplicity. I didn't have to deal with all kinds of plugin updates, and my WordPress website was breaking down all the time. So it changed everything for me. And most importantly, the community of ClickFunnels is like extremely powerful, and everything that surrounds it is amazing. And yeah, I've been with them ever since, and I'm not planning to change anytime soon. So, so Tomas, tell us, explain us how is sales funnel the same to current business as website was to a business 25 years ago?
Well, I'm not that old to remember this, but I remember from store, like I was 10 years, I was like 6 years old or whatever, so I don't really remember that. But from the stories, I remember that those were the days between like 1985 to like 1999, where every business was just, there was this new thing called internet that was connecting everybody around the world, and every business that was existing, no matter how small, big, complex, or simple, they just had to have a website, right? And the websites were ugly. It was like literally written in a Microsoft Word, just there was a logo, maybe there was like several pieces like home, some story about us, and then there was product description, maybe one or two products, because those days we did not have any payment gateways, that nothing like that existed. Elon Musk did not invent PayPal yet. So like it was literally just information, one A4 page, information, contact details, and phone number, landline those days. There were no even cell phones. And so this was like the revolution, right? There was no more only the yellow pages and leaflets and physical things, but suddenly there was this online intangible thing where everybody could be found, right? And it was a revolution for business because suddenly you could get known by much higher amount of people, not just those within your immediate surroundings. And I feel like ClickFunnels is the same thing as the website was then. So it is to business now because it brings customer much closer to the business in the ways that the business can really custom tailor the journey to every single customer, specifically based on their needs. You can have a funnel created for somebody who needs a yellow car. You can have a funnel made for somebody who needs a black car, or if it's a real estate, you can have a villa, and you can have a cottage, and you can have an apartment. And so this is like real life experience with a trained salesperson who does not really care about their own salary. What they are caring about is to solve the customer's problem. And I feel like the sales funnel in its true nature is meant to help the salesperson, the business, to solve customers' problems in as easy way as possible. Because yes, the customer has to pay at the end of the journey in order to purchase the product and service that solves this problem. But we want it to be as pleasant for the customer as possible. We want him to be happy at the end of the process. And the website, as it stands at this moment, very often is a very frustrating place. Before you reach the place or the product or the checkout, you get through so many hurdles. But when a sales funnel is designed the right way, it just makes everything seamless. You can have a purchase done in few minutes, and the customer is happy. It did not take him too long. There is no frustration. And you just created an amazing relationship with the customer who will probably refer somebody to you or will come back, because it is like parking a car when you're going shopping into the mall and you can't find a parking spot. Your whole experience can be ruined. And this is the same with traditional websites. So yeah, this is how I feel like the reason why it is so much like the website was 25 years ago.
Got it.
So just like, if I can connect to this, your question, like, why would you feel that the funnel is so much more superior than traditional website?
Well, I believe that you described it well already. You covered pretty much the main concept. And yeah, it's like whenever the customer, anytime customer is confused, he never buys, right? Confused customers never buys. And if you drop somebody on the website with full of buttons and all kinds of arrows and all kinds of things, those people just leave and they go somewhere else where they can be taken through the simple process where on each step, the customer has only one call to action. That's a process, that's funnel, and that's effective. That's essential nowadays because people don't want to be confused, right? They want to be taken through the simple process that can benefit them and that can get them the results they want. So now tell us.
Sorry, just so basically you're saying it is like in real life. If you go to the store, you can either buy or leave. So this is the exact same way. You either purchase or you leave. There is no confusion.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So now tell us, Tomas, what steps need to be taken in order for the funnel as a concept become mainstream?
I feel like what has to happen is, I will speak for a Czech market because obviously Western markets such as UK and America, they are a little bit further ahead to us. They obviously started with all the website development, so the funnel concept started from there. But in Czech Republic, I feel like people have to realize that not everything online is a scam. That's like a first thing, because my experience from people who have no idea what a funnel is and they encounter poorly designed funnels, they find it a little bit scammy. And it is only because the person who designed them did not know what they are doing. It is the same with salespeople. If a salesperson doesn't know what he's doing, he seems sleazy, pushy, trying to like sell you no matter what, and then they destroy the reputation for all the good salespeople. And this is the case in sales funnels. But what has to happen, there has to be people like us more and more who are open to the concept of a sales funnel and be willing to invest their own money and our own money into actually proving the concept to people around us, businesses around us. And at certain point, when we get big enough client, then that will be the breaking point. I don't know what exactly will be that breaking point. Just feel like we just have to start making the ripples, on the surface of the pond, and the ripples will start accumulating. And at one point, a big fish will jump out and we will be able to work with this big fish, literally just, starting their own funnel journey and creating a beautiful sales funnel as we all know it.
Cool.
But there is one really important part of every single funnel, and that is a value ladder. Can you explain us a little bit more? Why is that, and what actually the value ladder is?
Totally. So value ladder is a concept that all successful companies are pretty much using, right? And this is something that I also didn't understand when Sebastian paid for my book. Basically, he didn't make any money from it, but he was hoping that I would escalate through the Russell Brunson value ladder, and after that I will purchase ClickFunnels software, because that book costs like $10. ClickFunnels software entry package costs $97 per month. And then the Russell Brunson had this higher ticket as well, and that's what value ladder is basically. The companies that are doing it great, for example, is McDonald's. Their entry offer is a burger, right? They have this cheap hamburger for $1 that gets you in the door, and they actually are losing money on that, on promotions and advertising. But when they upsell you on to get fries and Coke, and that's when they actually start making money. And like the highest package that McDonald's makes money from is actually real estate. Like when people were asking, like Ray Kroc, he was the founder of McDonald's, like he asked, like, what kind of business do you think I am in? Like, and people were like, hamburgers, and he said, no, I'm in business in real estate, because that's how McDonald's is making real money. To the franchisees of McDonald's are paying money to rent their McDonald's store. So, and this is the value ladder. Without it, it's really difficult nowadays to make money, because you are losing money often. Or if you are lucky, if you have good offer, you can break even if you have good follow-up funnels. But if you don't have value ladder that you can upsell later your customers, then you will be out of business really soon.
Okay.
So
sounds interesting.
So tell us, Tomas, how do you feel about non-customer focused companies?
That is something that I pretty much I despise them. I mean, everybody has their own way of conducting business. I just have never been the kind of person who would just grind all the money away from people and did not really care about their personal story or anything. I feel like this was the reason why many of those great companies, they went under. Like everybody remembers Blockbuster, everybody remembers I don't know, it was Kodak. They all went under because the only thing they cared about was their own pockets, and they did not really understand the customer, or they did not care, or like literally the most important thing was the shareholder. That was the top thing that was creating all the pressure, and they were making all the decisions based on what the shareholders want. And on the other hand, you have people like, I think his name is Jack Ma. He's a founder of Alibaba. And what he's basically saying, there are 3 tiers of importance in my company. First tier is a customer, second tier is my employee, and third tier is a shareholder. Right? The first thing, why customer? Because those are the people who are giving you their money. Those are they who, without them, the company would simply not exist. Shareholders would not bring their money into a company that does not have customers, right? Second, they are the employees. They are the driving force behind all the innovation and delivering the products and making sure that the customers receive their products the correct way. Well, and that the shareholders, they are the last place. They get whatever is left, because as soon as there is a problem, most of the shareholders, they just disappear, because they are all about their own money, their own pockets, and they don't care about the company. They put the money into the company only as an investment, but that's the only thing that is. And so I feel like all the companies that don't care about the customers, don't focus 100% on the customers, they are deemed to fail sooner or later, because in this day and age where every customer is very well informed or has access to free information, and they discover that you're mistreating them or your practices are wrong or unethical, they have a simple choice. They will just go to your competition whose approach is much better. And so I feel like a company who really thrives to be successful and great, they have to realize that their customer is the most important thing, and then there is the rest.
Cool.
So this is like my personal opinion, and this is why I feel like even this.
What do you believe is like the most customer-centric company, as like to give people an example?
Well, my example and the person that I am personally looking upwards to is Jeff Bezos.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm
So like the things they are doing is, I feel that everything they are doing is for customers, and then the money comes together with it. If it would be the other way around, all of those giants before them, they were never that successful because everything they cared about was themselves.
Totally. I agree. Jeff
So
Bezos is a beast.
this is, and that there is actually good slide to the next question, is because like, do you know what actually means the concept of funnel hacking, and how can you make money much quicker than the regular way?
So funnel hacking is just a kind of a fancy way how Russell attached it to funnels, right? But this is not a new concept. Like companies has been emulating on other companies' success like decades for decades. And just to we were talking about Amazon. So before Amazon, there was a Walmart, right? Like Sam Walton has built this empire, and on his deathbed, he's written the book called Made in America, and he said in his book that almost everything super successful that we have built in Walmart, I have copied from somebody else. And so this is not to say to encourage anyone to just straightly just copy everything, but it would be foolish if you do not emulate on someone else's success, someone who has already proven some concept. And when you because if you cannot make money from something that's already working, then you will never make money from innovating, because you will not have enough cash flow, you will not have enough anything, right? So and that's what all companies are doing, right? Like if you take example of Facebook, for example. So Facebook offered a Snapchat CEO like $3 or $4 billion to sell his company, and he didn't, right? So what he like Zuckerberg was losing people, the traffic to Snapchat, so they copied the entire stories to Facebook, to Instagram, and that was the end of it, right? So this is not new concept, but when you Russell Brunson allows you to really through ClickFunnels and give you step-by-step process like how to do it. You just if you any kind of business that you want to get into, you just need to find 3 people that already proved that successful, and then you just emulate on their success. You can use similar value ladder, for example, and just emulate on that success and apply it to yours. And then when you make enough money, then you can start innovating when you have enough cash flow. But you don't want to come to the market as an innovator immediately, because you will crash and burn.
Yeah, this is why I was like thinking, many people who do, for example, drop shipping, they look on the good ones. They look on what Amazon is doing, because Amazon is the innovator, and they emulate them because it is much easier to emulate such a giant than try and doing it yourself, right?
Yeah, totally. And let's not forget, Jeff Bezos was walking around Amazon with Sam Walton's book, and he was reading like over 10 times. He was walking everywhere with that book, because Walmart was like, Sam Walton was the richest person alive when he was alive. But then he died, and Jeff Bezos came along, and he built he took advantage of the trend, which was the internet. All right, but he was using this like similar concept that Sam Walton has already proven the right. So yeah, so now let's go to the Czechoslovakian market. And so tell us, Tomas, how is Czech and Slovakian market different from those Western ones?
Well, I feel like that there is the biggest difference is the historical one, because we are on the borders between 2 historically great empires, or I would not say empires, but philosophies, if I could say. So one is the Western one, the capitalist one, where everybody can make good life for themselves. And then there is the more Eastern one, the most, let's say, Marxist one or communist one, where it's like everything belongs to everybody. And we were exactly in the middle of that. So I feel like this market is very specific, that people are fairly slow to innovation due to historical facts, and also they are not as trusty towards everything, because we were, since we were a child, taught to not trust anybody, not to believe anything. And so that in order to break through in this kind of market, you really have to be a great salesperson. You can't be just making people believe. They have to believe that your product is truly great. So it's in America, for example, it is really easy to succeed. Here, you have to be great to succeed. So I feel like this should be a testing ground for every great aspiring salesperson or business person to break through in Czech market or Slovakian market. And also because we are so innovative people by the nature, because we had to be in order to survive in past years or decades or centuries. We know how to do many things on our own, so we do not really need that many products. So in order to actually sell something, it has to solve a huge problem, or it has to have so much added value to the product. The offer has to be so great. Of course, then you have, I'm talking about more of the high ticket items. Obviously, all of those cheap $5, $10, $20 things are fairly easy in every market. But when it comes to those very high-end stuff, for example, in America, you have many millionaires in America who drive Lamborghini. In Czech Republic, you have so many very rich people and they drive normal cars, because there is no need to show off. There is no need for that. And also, the companies who are selling these cars are not brave enough to venture into our countries to truly sell this. This is why a first Rolls-Royce dealership just opened in Prague just now, like last week or a month ago, and it's 2021. So this just shows it, right? And in London, you can't obviously compare London to Czech Republic when London itself is the size of Czech Republic when it comes to population. But you have every single car manufacturer is represented within London. So this is why I feel like the Czech and Slovakian market is very specific when it comes to those different in comparison to the Western markets.
Yeah, totally. Like when I can just add something, like when I am doing sales, it's like when I compare American to someone from Central Europe, it takes so many follow-ups because people are really like conservative from Central Europe. And in America, if someone see the good opportunity, good value, he jumps right in, and you have no problem like to close the deal on the phone. And that's how business in America is done. And in here in Central Europe, it may take months till someone decides to hop on the opportunity. So we are really like conservative in comparison to Americans in this way.
Yes, and this is why I think there comes the massive importance of having your own emailing list. Can you take us through that? Why is it so important, and maybe how you can do it?
Totally. So yeah, to be able to follow up with your customers, you need to have an email list. And this is something that most beginner entrepreneurs mess up on, like they don't build their own email list. And I was not building one when I was like started business 5 years ago because I didn't understand it, right? But when it comes to business, email list is the most valuable asset that you have. And it's simply because you own it. You have full control over your email list. And there have been many entrepreneurs that had like million subscribers on YouTube or on Facebook or some other platforms that got banned or they were using platform that is not even existent nowadays. and you can get wiped out immediately because you don't have any control over those mediums. As opposed, when you start building your own email list, you can, when that platform disappears and new platform comes along, you can basically take your email list, people who already know who you are, and upload it to advertising platform and retarget those people immediately, and don't have to start from scratch, as opposed when you don't have one. And another important thing is why you need email list is because most sales are done through follow-ups, and and when you don't have a way how to follow up with your prospects, then you are losing the most of your money on the table. So yeah, would you like to add something, Tomas, to the email list building?
Well, yeah, this is true that you said, and I'm encountering many people in Czech Republic who have regular brick and mortar stores. And for instance, when I ask them, when new stuff comes in, when new goods comes in, how do you let them know? Yeah, for example, when I speak about clothing stores, when a new collection of items comes in, how do you let them know? And they are like, well, they will just come by and see. And I'm like, are you kidding me, guys? Like, you have people here, they are giving you their money, and you can't be even bothered to ask them for one email address to kind of keep them in the loop. Like, new collection is coming this Monday, come have a look. We have a sale coming in. And I see that this should be a fundamental building stone. When you have a business plan, then you have a plan how to collect email addresses or phone numbers or names. It does not have to be email, but like you have to collect, because what happens if you would have to shut your shop in the middle of the square and you have to move somewhere else on a side street where there is not so much foot traffic? How would you gain those customers back if you don't have their contact list? So this is a physical space where people can walk around you, and you do not have the way to contact them, you will lose the business. And the online place is exactly the same. And it is so easy. You just type. Most of us have autofill on, so you just literally just put your mouse cursor there. It fills it up for you. You press enter. And if it annoys you, you can always unsubscribe, right? Like, it is an essential thing to any type of a business. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like the best example that I can think of right now is what was Facebook when Facebook acquired Instagram? What they were actually purchasing? They were purchasing the list of people that are Instagram. That's the most valuable thing in any business, because Jack Zuckerberg could just just copy the platform, just like he did Snapchat, or he added after TikTok, he added music to Facebook and Instagram. He could do that, but if Instagram was willing to sell the access to that Instagram customers, then he bought it, and he bought the list of people who are using Instagram. That's what you buy in business. So that's why it's super important to start building your own email list as soon as possible. So let's transition to the next question, which is how do you, Tomas, feel that people's shopping habits are affected by paying via credit card instead of using a debit card?
I was actually thinking about this concept because I'm following this guy from America. He's a very successful estate guy. His name is Chris Cron. He created about $200 million empire of real estate. And he's actually talking about the difference between credit and debit. And the difference between the credit and debit is when you have a debit card, you have your own money on it. And nobody but you cares about that money. So you're very careful about your spending. You're very conservative. And you know that as soon as you release the money, it is gone. You can't do anything about it, right? So it is very hard to get the money from the customer if he has a debit card. But if it's a credit card, it is not your money. If it's the money of the financial institution that you are promising to pay back when the monthly invoice comes or the payment comes. So it is much easier to release the funds. And also, this is for protection of the customer. It is much more important for the merchant to deliver the product in a way that it is promised, because the banks and the financial institution can just simply withdraw the payment, and you will lose your services, you will lose the customer, and you will lose the money as a merchant or as a business owner if you're conducting business a wrong way. Obviously, there are processes to prevent abuse of this system, but I feel like this is more balanced way where the business people, the companies, are forced to conduct themselves to a certain degree, and the customer feels safer purchasing something, because in case of whatever happens, they can just call their bank, cancel the purchase, and they are, out of any trouble. And if people in Czech would start to learn a little bit more of a financial intelligence and how to use money to their advantage, they could leverage this knowledge of having a credit card, which they, instead of putting money in the beginning of the month, they put the money there at the end of the month, which the process is pretty much the same. But you have bonuses, you can get gifts from the credit card companies. You are protected by the credit card company, because it is not only you who cares about the money, they are the massive corporation behind the card. So they will protect their own assets for everything, like at any cost. And so I feel like people should start transitioning towards those credit cards, but only at the point when they are actually able to pay them off, right? It does not make sense to start going to credit card and not paying it off, because you will just ruin yourself. But if you know what you're doing, you should just cancel your debit card and just go either to preloaded credit card or normal credit card that you pay off every month. This is my thought about it. What do you think about that?
No, I agree totally. It's concept that people in Central Europe are not taking advantage of yet, but I believe that may change in the future, because we are conservative here, so we are afraid to put things on the credit card, and
people don't trust themselves.
Yeah, totally. It has a disadvantage. Like if you are not, if you have impulses and you are not like able to restrain yourself to a certain budget, you can totally go to the debt with like credit card, and that's, if you are that kind of person, then you should you are better off with debit card, because that can get you in trouble,
And credit cards are also great for businesses.
Oh yeah,
if you have an advertising budget, or cars, you're running the cars, all the bonuses that you can actually collect are like, this is actually ridiculous. And I'm surprised that they are not advertising to more Czech people. But as we said, it's about finances and knowing what you're doing with them. So when you were actually introduced to ClickFunnels, you saw the book, right? The guy bought you a book and gave you the money, and and then you were introduced into the funnel to get you through to eventually pick ClickFunnels, right?
Yeah.
Why ClickFunnels? Because you said it is at the beginning it is fairly expensive and there are cheaper competitors. So why did you choose ClickFunnels and not one of the cheaper options?
So it was basically because I saw value in ClickFunnels, like the co-founder, its leader, Russell Brunson, and what he was explaining, and all the value that he's provided me. And I loved the book. I loved like the Expert Secret. It was the first book that I read from him, and I just tested it out, right? And I was blown away, like about the simplicity and about the most important, like I believe, is the community and the customer support. And ClickFunnels has one of the biggest communities of entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. Like Russell Brunson has created people, over 1,000 people who has done over $1 million at least in a funnel. So that's unheard of, right? And it's like, there are constantly new softwares coming out trying to attack ClickFunnels, like save money and invest in one one-time payment solution. But all those companies disappear, like within a year or two, they always disappear. Or when you purchase it, you do not, like in a year, they do not have money for innovating anything. And so they become obsolete. So it's impossible to make this work without having monthly retainer. And, so there are so many reasons why. And Rasmussen is constantly innovating. There are like new features coming out constantly, trying to be on the cutting edge of marketing, so your funnels are actually converting and making money. This is another important thing. Like if you use just some random funnel, you will not get the templates and your funnels will be not converting. So yeah, would you like to add something? Like why do you stay with ClickFunnels?
Well, I actually went on and off ClickFunnels few times because I kind of lost the sight of the true potential of ClickFunnels, and I kind of didn't imagine at that very point how they could help me with certain business ventures. And I unfortunately made the mistakes over and over again. But like literally last year or so, especially since like the current situation has started, like the funnels have helped tremendously, because without the need of any programmer or anybody else, you just start and you can pretty much start doing business within few days if you know what you're doing, and if you don't know, maybe a few weeks. But it's definitely something different when compared to traditional building of a website where you need an expert. Here you can become an expert fairly quickly. As you said at the beginning, the ease of learning, you don't have to care about any bugs. Like if there is a problem, you email a support and it's fixed in few days. There is amazing background of people, Facebook community, where if you have an issue or question, they are willing to help you for free. You don't have to hire a consultant who will go through your business. You just put a question in and the community will give you answer or try to help you as much as possible. And yeah, as you said, there were those who were trying the one-time payment, and it looked to me more like a pyramid scheme, because the only way they could sustain themselves, it would be just adding more and more and more people in, and that's like a Ponzi scheme or something like that. But this is the cost of doing business. Like you want the premium service. This is why you pay the 97 entry or the 297 premium platinum package. But what you get, like you have everything. You don't need any other service. You don't need any mail automation. You have one platform that handles all your business. You need one expert. You don't need 5 experts, right? So it makes everything so much easier as soon as you start scaling. And for start of your business journey, there is nothing easier than just start with ClickFunnels.
The most important thing in business is focus. And if you have one software for everything and don't have to distract yourself with 10 different tools, then that's a thing alone helps you to focus on your business and grow it quickly. So yeah.
You know what annoys me so much when having more clients, and for example, they give you their integration and you help them do with your follow-up. It's all the time signing out of MailChimp and signing into a different account. With premium ClickFunnels, you just select a different SMTP automation, and you have access from one login environment, from one account, to all of those mail accounts. And this simple thing makes it so much easier to just manage things, for example, for your clients. Or if you have multiple flows, multiple email addresses where you're sending automations from, you want to send as a business owner, and then some newsletter, so you have more personalized environment. And these are like the nuances when it comes to making things bigger, that takes so much of your energy, because you're just waiting there for the screen to load. So the complexity of the program and making it simple at the same time is just, that's the beauty of it.
Totally. Okay, Tomas, thanks for all the value that you have provided in the interview. Tell the
Thank you.
audience, like, where can they find you and how they can connect with you?
Well, the easiest way that me and you can probably connect with people, I will put a link to your YouTube channel in my description, and I think you will be doing the same. And then underneath each of our videos, there is going to be the ways how people can contact us if they want to learn from me or from you something, do business with you or me, or just have any questions. Everything will be in a description. I feel like this is the best way rather than just trying to spell out here using alpha, beta, gamma. So,
Yeah,
this
totally.
is, I think.
I will put Tomas' channel below mine so you can subscribe to him. And yeah, you can find me on mariojurik.com or YouTube/MarioJurik, and or just click some of the link below this video. So
And you can find me on tomasnedoma.com. It is
awesome.
very easy, but everything will be below the video. So once again, Mario, thank you. Thank you for today. It was very valuable, half an hour or 45 minutes. And I hope that people who are watching this will get as much value as we did.
Thank you, Tomas. It was really cool talk. And yeah, I hope you guys love it. And see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Jo, dobrý, já myslím, že jsme si to dobře připravili.